What's up YouTube, Pete here from the Sunday Drive, and today I'm going to be showing you a detailed walkthrough of the ATOTO SA102 Android and Apple CarPlay compatible head unit. Now we've had this SA102 installed in this 2013 Dodge Ram for about 5 months now, and I have honestly nothing but good things to say about it. It's a very simple design, it doesn't offer many features, but that kind of plays in its benefit because there's less things to go wrong with it. Over the time of using this, we've had very little issues or hiccups, with the main thing being occasionally, and I'd say maybe twice since owning it, the speakers did not have any sound output to them, but turning the key off and then on again solved that problem. So the first thing we're gonna do is turn the car off and then show you how long it takes to boot up before you can use the radio. So opening the door, that will turn the head unit off, and I'll start a timer when I turn the key into the on position. So the truck started. Now I will say that this does boot up slower than my ATOTO A6 Pro. That's because that does turn on instantly. It has an instant on feature. Even though this does seem to take a while to turn on, by the time you're ready to pull out of the driveway, it's pretty much ready to go. And one nice feature is, even if it's turning on and you get this year boot up screen, if you put the truck into reverse, it does show the reverse camera before the entire head unit is up and running, so you don't need to wait for that. So once the head unit is booted up, you're greeted with a clock on the top, as well as 6 big icons. It's very simple to use, like I said. Basically, it gives you the ability to choose from Apple CarPlay, the radio, Android Auto, your telephone, which you can dial numbers from, Bluetooth audio, and USB. In the bottom center, you have an up arrow. If you tap on that, you have 6 more icons that you can access. From left to right, we have a gear icon, a video input icon for the front-facing camera if you have one installed, a brightness slider that you can quickly access, a Bluetooth pairing mode button, a rear view camera button so you can see that even when you're driving forwards, and an equalizer button that will allow you to cycle through equalizer settings, which you'll see up here on the top left will change as I tap this. So we're in custom mode, then you have flat, R&B, rock, pop, hip hop, jazz, and we're back to custom. On the bottom, we have 6 buttons for volume down, volume up, voice commands, which it's not working right now, but it will work in Apple CarPlay mode, the home button to take you back to this screen, and the mute button, as well as the power button, which if you tap it, it doesn't do anything, but if you hold it down, it'll turn the radio off. So more likely than not, if you're buying this head unit, you probably just want Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It's a very cheap radio and it does do that well. So we'll start off this walkthrough by showing Apple CarPlay. I have an iPhone, I don't have an Android phone, so I can't show you that, but it should be exactly the same. When you plug in the USB on your iPhone, Apple CarPlay will automatically load, and as you'll see, it'll take you to the home screen. From this point forward, the head unit works exactly like an Apple CarPlay head unit should work. You can access all of your applications, you can access your maps, your music, and your phone calls, which I'll probably blur that out. I only have a few Apple CarPlay compatible apps, but it does work with Waze, Spotify, WhatsApp, Google Maps, Amazon Music, your calendar. If you want to learn more about Apple CarPlay, there's plenty of videos out there to show you that. But this is just to show you how well it works. As you can see, it works pretty smooth because the phone is doing the heavy lifting. And the scrolling works well. I will add though that one of the big benefits of the new version of Apple CarPlay is the ability to let you run 2 apps on these screens. For instance, back in the day, if you wanted to have Spotify open on your head unit, well, you had to have Spotify open on your phone. They were joined at the hip. Now you can actually have Spotify running on your head unit while having other applications on your phone. So that's a very welcome addition to Apple CarPlay. If you hit the home button and you click on the phone app over here, it will launch your phone app on your phone in Apple CarPlay. But if you unplug your phone and you hit the phone app, it'll load the built-in phone application in the head unit, which will still allow you to use a dial pad and make phone calls from your cell phone. Now we'll show you the radio. So the head unit allows for 3 FM bands, so FM 1, 2, and 3. You can also switch through FM bands by swiping along the bottom bar of your favorites. And as you can see, FM 3, if I swipe back, I'm back on FM 1. And the head unit offers 2 bands for AM, which is probably more than enough if we're being honest. On the right-hand side, you have the preset seek button. So if you tap that, the head unit will now cycle through presets. After a couple of seconds, it'll switch to the next one. And it has a magnifying glass for searching for all of the radio stations in your area that are viable. So if I click that, now you can see it says searching. And what it did there was it set all of the bottom favorites to the local radio stations that will work. For instance, 107.3 will be country music. And one really nice feature about this head unit is it does tell you the type of music that this radio station is, as well as the artist and radio station on the bottom. This is Cat Country Radio. When there's a song playing, they'll tell you the artist and song. The bottom icon on the right is the equalizer. So it goes from 30 hertz to 16,000 hertz, and you can adjust this how you'd like. And this is what will play when you have custom selected for EQ. So that's pretty much it for the radio. It's very simple. Single tapping these left and right arrows will actually just go to the next increment. And then if you hold down on it, it'll seek to the next station. And now I'll show you the phone app in more depth. As you can see, you have a full-fledged dial pad, and you can make calls from it. If I hit go,
welcome to Verizon Wireless.
It works right away. You can also backspace, and you can access your call logs, your contacts, and there's a Bluetooth setup option here for auto answer. That's the only option in this application for your phone. So the top right icon is Bluetooth audio in blue, and as you can see, I can no longer click on Apple CarPlay because my phone is unplugged. Once you tap on that, it'll bring up this menu. It'll show you the song, the artist, and the album, and you can control the music. Don't ask what the music is, it's copyright free so that I can use it in this video for example purposes. Now, I'm using Spotify for this right now, so if I click on this left middle icon, it doesn't allow me to open a list or directory of songs available on my device. That doesn't work, but if I was playing music directly from my phone, then it should show you all of the artists and songs on your phone, but I don't keep music stored on my device. On the right, you have the option for repeat, so you can repeat all, you can repeat the directory, or you can repeat that song. You can also shuffle, turn shuffle on and off, and you have your equalizer settings again. The bottom gear icon on the right allows for micro adjustments on the input level. As you might know, when you turn up the volume on your phone using Bluetooth, it'll also turn up the music on the head unit. But if your phone or device doesn't get loud enough for what you want, you can increase the input level up to +5, or you can lower it to -5, but we tend to keep this at 0. So that's it for the music app. And on the bottom right is a USB icon, so if you were to load music onto a storage device, you can use that. Next up, we're going to cycle through the settings, so click on the gear icon on the bottom left, and you have 5 options for settings. So you have the system settings, display, audio and EQ, Bluetooth, and rear camera. So we'll start with the system settings. These are all the options that you're given. You can choose from 5 different languages: English, Spanish, French, German, and Portuguese. You can change the date and time, and you can also toggle between a 24-hour time and a 12-hour time. There's this very annoying beep tone that you can toggle on and off, thank God, because it would drive me crazy. Next, you have steering wheel control select. So if you were to set up steering wheel controls on this head unit, that's how you would do it. You can map all of the buttons on your steering wheel controls to this head unit. If you want to learn how to do that, we'll make a video eventually. We kind of showed it in our installation video for this head unit though, so check that out in the link above and in the description below. After that, we have a factory reset option and an about option so you know which hardware and software you're running. And there's an option to update this, but you probably need to download that on the computer and use a USB stick to get that on here. Next in the settings, we have the display settings. This allows you for lighting detect. I'm going to turn on the headlights on my vehicle and you'll see that the screen will dim out. So automatically the head unit senses the headlights and turns the screen brightness down. You're able to control both the daylight dimming and the night dimming by these arrows. So that's nice that you have customizability over both of those. And you have the options to control the lighting colors for this bottom bar. So I can make them yellow, I can make them amber, white, light blue, but we like dark blue. Finally, you can change the wallpaper. It comes with 5 presets and there's a plus icon here. So if you were to load an image onto your USB device, you can actually load that onto this head unit. Now in the audio settings, I know I showed you the EQ settings earlier, but there's an option for the bounce and fader. So this white circle is where the sound bounce and fade will be. The plus and minus arrows will move that all the way to the right, all the way to the left, all the way to the rear, or some combination. You can also hit reset to send it back to the middle. If you have a subwoofer, you can toggle this on. It might be useful for some of you, but we don't have a subwoofer in this setup. If you do use a subwoofer, there is a built-in filter. So there's off, 50 Hertz, 80 Hertz, 120 Hertz, and 160 Hertz. So those are the options that they give you. Finally, the EQ that I've shown you multiple times already, so I don't need to go over that. And coming back, we have Bluetooth settings, so you can pair your device, and rear camera settings so that you can enable whether or not a rear view camera is installed so that when you put the car in reverse, the vehicle knows to switch to that input. And the rear view camera input is actually the factory rear view camera for this Dodge Ram. You can also control if the display is mirrored or not. There's also a parking assist guide that you can turn on and off, which is nice. And you can adjust that to fit your car accordingly. In our case, we do have a hitch sometimes. It's kind of neat. You can drag these dots and it will change the settings. So we have that set up for this Dodge Ram. And that's it for the settings. So there you go, guys. That is the walkthrough of this SA102 head unit. Like I said, it's been very reliable, and that's actually all of the settings that you have available to you. It's much different than a fully Android-based head unit like a ATOTO A6 Pro, where you can download apps from the Play Store. This is very locked down. It just serves the simple purpose of being a head unit, which isn't really a bad thing sometimes. Sometimes you just want simple, and that's exactly what this provides you for a very reasonable price. We'll have this linked in the description below. So if you found this video to be helpful, please give us a big like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.